People Division just turned on Seth Rollins. Well, I surely wasn't expecting that. I saw the copyright logo, right? I started writing my script. I wrote, we got a good Raw, we got a good SmackDown, good Crown Jewel. And the question is, can we get another decent show? And my thought process was, it was an okay show. Obviously, I wasn't expecting much. I wasn't expecting any change. I didn't have a vision that something big is gonna happen because it's in Australia. They're finishing off their weekend. They're gonna travel back to United States and then we can expect fresh storylines. I was like, well, at least we got a #1 contenders match. With these kind of circumstances, it's kinda as much as you could ask for, and then randomly Braun Breaker spears Seth Rollins. Again, ya boy be thinking, okay, Braun Breaker is a singles guy right now. He's gonna be replaced by Austin Theory, and you know, it's an interesting change. Not sure where WWE are going with this. Nah, it's actually everybody turning on Seth frickin' Rollins on Monday Night Raw. One of the most shocking moments of Raw in the past few years, because WWE played us, right? It feels random, it feels weird. The moment itself, like, people, I popped. You don't understand. I got up from my couch. You know, I glanced on the screen and I immediately saw the spear. I don't know where this is going. I don't know if this is gonna be good. But yeah, boy is excited to talk about Monday Night Raw. So dare I say, this was another banger. Now the show kicks off with the Vision, right? I actually felt the aura. Rollins said something like, "What up, wankers?" Everybody in the crowd was like, "Yes! We are wankers! We be wankaholics! We hate to watch wrestling and wank! And we're all out of wank-ing." Seth Rollins brags about the success of the Vision. He puts over Paul Heyman and how much he means to him. We saw Paul Heyman crying, which is absolutely hilarious. That's what's so weird about the show, is that the moment I felt like Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are actually having some chemistry, they broke up. So I don't even know how to feel about this shit. He says Braun Breaker is definitely the future of the WWE. He talks about how Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns. He's the tribal chief. And he keeps talking about how he doesn't need the Vision. He doesn't need the Vision at all. He didn't need the Vision to beat Cody. He doesn't need the Vision in general. He chose to get the Vision. I was like, okay, so they're building this, you know, eventual Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins match that we're probably going to get in like a year or two. Like, eventually he's gonna get tired of this shit, just like Batista did with Triple H. But I was like, okay, I'm seeing Braun's facial expressions. I know he's angry. I know he's not happy with this shit. But obviously, knowing WWE, the trigger is gonna get dusty. It's not gonna get pulled. It's gonna be a long ass time, people, before we actually get something. So, dare I say that was a very shocking ending. You know, my initial thoughts were, okay, this was a nice promo. I felt the aura of the Vision, just heels celebrating. We're the shit kind of promo, right? It didn't mean much, but I was like, it's in Australia, that's exactly what I expected. You know, this is gonna be another Raw episode. I was wrong, I guess. I was wrong. You need to realize, I just watched this, by the way. I almost pressed record when I saw what happened on Monday Night Raw, so the emotions are still running high, people. And it's kinda... You know, whether it's good or bad, I don't know. We're about to find that out, but I'm just saying that it feels nice making content right now. You know, wrestling is kind of getting exciting again. Rusev believes he deserves a title match against Dominic Mysterio and reveals that Pierce said it's going to be the winner of tonight's Intercontinental Championship title match against Rusev next week. So we got Penta versus Dominic Mysterio. So this was a predictable match. Again, going into this Monday Night Raw, I was like, this is going to be just for the crowd. Just give, you know, Australia some good ass wrestling and we move. We expect some build for Saturday night's main event and obviously War Games. Not that I expected anything for War Games, because again, it's in Australia. You're not gonna see Brock Lesnar or Austin Theory even, which is that still going to be a thing, by the way? Rusev interfered, you know, this was a decent match, and I like what Dominic did. Hammer to the knee, Eddie Guerrero style, he retains the championship, and I feel like that should keep being Dominic's thing, right? Like, he is not even the next Rey Mysterio, he's more of a Eddie Guerrero in a way, you know, with his gimmick I'm talking about. So I like these creative ways Dominic Mysterio is cheating in the WWE, and that should remain a thing in my opinion. opinion. What I don't necessarily agree with is the promo we got later. AJ Styles is happy about Crown Jewel. He's talking about the moment. Dominic says, yeah, moment. What about my moment? He doesn't want to face Rusev. AJ says, you're kinda right. It's unfair. JD and Finn Balor should also defend the title against me and Dragon Lee. And this is gonna happen next week. I feel like, personally, I don't see why would you put AJ Styles in a tag team if that's the plan. He's ending his career. He should win the Intercontinental Championship. It should be AJ Styles holding that title. And maybe later, like, we still have another year, right? But eventually, it should be AJ Styles who beats Dominic Mysterio, and he's going to have this great Intercontinental Championship title run. At least one more title reign from AJ Styles before he retires. That's exactly what your boy wants, what he needs, what he craves from the WWE. And that gets into it about the #1 Contenders match. He's happy he doesn't have to team with Punk or Jey, and he's definitely winning the match. Punk interrupts and says, without me, last week you wouldn't have won. LA Knight is just as cocky as ever. So that was the most exciting thing about the show, we thought, the #1 Contenders match. Who's going to face Seth Rollins at, I assume, Saturday night's main event, which I'm gonna admit I just learned it's going to happen at Saturday night's main event. I literally thought on this show they're gonna build War Games, but I forget that it's actually Saturday night's main event before that. I was kind of thinking about the Saturday night's main event where John Cena is going to retire. I forgot we're going to get another one, whatever. Kabuki Warriors are pissed that they lost. Asuka blames Kairi Sane. Kairi apologizes and says, I can fix this. Asuka says, tonight you'll face Rhea Ripley. Kairi shows her scar and says, that's because I tried to help you, and gets slapped by Asuka. So WWE building another breakup eventually. You know, she's gonna get abused a lot. This is gonna happen for weeks and weeks, months and months, until eventually Kairi Sane is going to turn heel on Asuka, and this is going to be another exciting match. So we got Rhea Ripley versus Kairi Sane. This was a very long match, obviously, because Rhea Ripley is involved. She's from Australia, and again, my thought process was, that's exactly what we're going to get on this Monday Night Raw, you know, just to please the crowd with some good wrestling, and the wrestling was good. So Rhea Ripley wins the match. Asuka attacks Io. We were supposed to get a table spot from Rhea Ripley, but we got Kairi with a kendo stick. Asuka DDTs Rhea on the announce table, and I assume WWE are building War Games. Now, obviously, you need a lot more people for that, but eventually, you're going to have a lot of people involved. We still have more than a month, I believe, until War Games. You know, look, a professional wrestling YouTuber, journalist, analyzer, analyst people. I do analyzing with Monday Night, Morning Raw, SmackDown, everything. And I had no idea when Survivor Series is happening. Look at how professional your boy is. Backstage, Jimmy questions why they keep following Roman. Jey says Roman's only looking out for himself, and that tonight he's focused on his match. Jimmy asks if that means he can't handle Bronson Reed. Jey says no, and they agree to handle their own business. So they're kinda teasing this breakup in a way, which is kinda weird because they just got back together. Obviously, there's this Roman Reigns involvement, and I hope when Roman Reigns said, I don't want to see you till Christmas, doesn't necessarily mean we ain't gonna see Roman till Christmas. Like, okay, you can blame Jimmy, you can blame Jey. Roman Reigns, boy, my tribal chief, I didn't do nothing to you. You know? Why you gotta abuse me? What did I do? I want to see you on Raw. You know, keep building this shit. I don't want this to drag. So we got Bronson Reed versus Jimmy, another decent match. And in this one, WWE tried to tell his story how dominant Bronson Reed is. Just fresh off his victory against Roman Reigns, he dominates Jimmy Uso. Then Braun Breaker attacks Jimmy. We got a couple of spears. He was about to spear him through the barricade, but got interrupted by Jey. And again, there's some problems between the Usos. I can only assume they're building War Games though. Like, I wouldn't expect a big heel turn or whatever, you know, a breakup, because at the end of the day, it's kind of obvious that the War Games match is going to have both of the Usos and Roman Reigns. I feel so. Lara doesn't know if she can trust Bayley. This is going to be a one-time thing, the tag team match. Bayley says, yeah, right. So we got Bayley and Lara versus Raquel and Roxanne. Another decent match. This was fine. Again, people, let me remind you, I was not expecting anything big, so I was kind of enjoying what we got. You know, I treated this Raw for what it was. The end of the Crown Jewel build. We got a cool moment where Lyra slaps Bayley and she loved it. She enjoyed that shit, people. She started acting all crazy, and that's how they got their victory. So, you know, building this crazy ass gimmick, which is kinda nice. You know, every match right now, we're going to see Lyra just beating the shit out of Bayley and somehow still win the match. You know, slap her face, slap her arm, hit her leg, punch her breast, ass, stuff like this. And it's just gonna get better. They're gonna get better with each match. In all seriousness, enjoying this so far. I think it has potential, and hopefully it's going to lead to, a Women's Tag Team Championship match. Heyman is singing Rollins' theme song, and Rollins is just all happy, right? Last 6 months it's been nothing but smiles. But nothing compares what we're gonna have in the future. Braun's did a good job taking care of the Usos, and watching you guys grow was one of my proudest moments ever. I'm on mountain top, and I feel like something big is on the horizon. And that was pretty smart because WWE made us believe, okay, this is like the best version of the Vision. Like, they're on the top right now. They're happy. They're taking these W's. What would be the reason to break up? Other than, Seth Rollins always saying, I don't need the Vision. And something big, I was like, okay, Brock Lesnar, Austin Theory. That's what we were thinking. But WWE absolutely pranked us with this shit, because they teased that, it's only gonna get better for the Vision. Same night they break up. People, I'm so happy for Maxine Dupree. She announces next week she will face Becky Lynch for the IC Championship in her hometown. People are chanting, showing love. Look, people, I'm an asshole. I'm a degenerate. I'm not the best human being. But, people, there's still something there. I felt that. So happy for her. She improved so much. She's getting love. This is where hard work gets you, people. Stephanie McCare is celebrating her victory, says she's the only woman who won 4 titles in 1 year. We got the Judgment Day. It should have been me moment from Roxanne. Felt kind of forced anyway, not gonna lie. Not necessarily excited about that. Finally, we got the number 1 contenders match. Jey Uso versus LA Knight versus CM Punk. As y'all know, big fan of triple threats, a lot of star power right here. And this felt kind of a conclusion anyway. We've been watching these two bickering for weeks and weeks now. Feels like years, centuries. Feels like this happened before the dinosaurs, people. So it felt like a nice little conclusion. Finally, all of these guys can just beat the living shit out of each other, right? I enjoyed the match. I thought it was pretty cool. The crowd was hot. And now, people, here's the result. CM Punk actually wins the match. How we feel about that? How do we feel about that? Seth Rollins versus CM Punk probably at Saturday night's main event. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good conclusion. Maybe Punk's winning, maybe not. I don't know. Pretty exciting. I know the match is gonna be good even though we saw it for so many times. Whatever. That's how I felt, but the ending just kind of changes everything. The ending changes everything. And people, okay, I'm gonna get into it, but basically, CM Punk gets attacked by the Vision, right? They're dominating, same Raw ending we saw for so many weeks. I was like, okay, they're back at it again, people. They gave us 2 good shows, and they decided to end the show the same way we hate it for so many months now, it feels like. But then, WWE did something really special. The copyright logo. Triple H's thing, right? The show is over. Okay, I'm gonna pick up my ass, click that record button, and talk about... No, we got a spear from Braun Breaker randomly, everybody's shocked, and then he's like, what about you guys just join me? So Bronson joins him, and even Paul Heyman raises their hands with the World Heavyweight Championship. So WWE are basically teasing that Braun Breaker is coming for that title. It's so weird. Who's the leader? Who's the leader of this faction or whatever this is? I have no... What's gonna happen with War Games? Is Austin Theory joining Seth Rollins and creating a new faction? Is Austin Theory joining Paul Heyman? Is it even happening? I have no idea, but this is so exciting, people, and this is what I was getting at. What's one thing, yeah boy, yeah, tribal chief, your tribal forehead, your messiah, keeps talking about? We need, what we crave for, what we pray for, a cliffhanger. Now WWE, Triple H, good job. I wanna see what's gonna happen on next week's edition of Monday Night Raw. No condom required. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen on Monday Night Raw. This is what we call a cliffhanger, people. Why did it happen? How does that make any sense? Who's the leader? Who's joining? Is anybody joining? Who's the babyface? Who's the heel? We have no idea, and this makes things so interesting. And obviously the fact that Braun Breaker is, like, right now he feels so much bigger than he was. Like, the aura, he's like, I got enough of your shit, I'm taking the championship, I'm coming for that title, I'm ready. I'm ready. It's like they learned everything they could from Seth Rollins. You know, they already beat Roman Reigns. Braun Breaker is like, you know, in kayfabe, he could beat Seth Rollins easily. So it's like, yeah, we just got what we wanted. You disrespected us. We didn't need your shit. As a matter of fact, you're just creating problems for us. People, that was the craziest Raw ending we've seen in a while. What are your thoughts? Give me your predictions. What does this mean? Thank you so much for watching this video. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your support. Love you all. The great one. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.